In this video, we're going to take a look at the back of Godzilla where the spikes come in. There's not a lot we can do because you can see here that we just don't have enough geometry. But one thing that we can do is we can start pushing some of these forms up a little bit and getting them a little bit closer to what we're going to want in the end. Like that. Again, there's not a lot we can do here. So don't push it too far, but just start getting some of these forms raised up around the spikes. Later on, once we have enough geometry, we'll come back to this and we'll actually make the spot where the spikes are going to stick in. That looks all right there. Pull this up a little bit. Again, don't spend too much time on this area. We just want to get things a little bit closer so that when we do add a little bit more geometry, it'll be closer to the shape that we want and we'll have less sculpting to do later. Eventually, what we really want to do is we want to have each of the areas where these spikes are at, where they're embedded into his back. That way, when we bring it over into a CAD application, we can make cavities for these to go because we're going to have these separated. I think later on I might do a video on how to add lighting to light up the spikes on the back. We'll see how it goes. It's really going to depend on you, the viewer, and what you guys want to see. I'd like to get into some more of the advanced topics on the models and ways that you can modify them and make them better. But you guys will have to let me know in the comments what you want to see. So I think for the back, I think that looks pretty good. Now another thing, I use Pure Ref a lot. It's really nice because it gives you this overlay where you can see what you're working on. You can add a bunch of pictures and just keep them on the screen to use as a reference. So I think I'm going to work on this jaw a little bit. You can see right here that it just really doesn't have any muscle definition or anything to it. It needs more volume. Don't push it too far, but you do want to pull things out so you can at least see some of the structures there. That looks a little bit better. I want to push them a little bit more because I know when I subdivide this, it's going to lose a little bit of this volume. And then I also want to pull some of these forms out right here. They're just pushed in a little bit too much. Plus, I think it looks better. Not sure how far down I want to take that yet, so for right now, I'm just going to stop about right here. But one of the things that does is it adds a a look of muscles being underneath the skin. So I want to pull this out a little bit too, and I want to leave that crease because I do like that crease being in there. You can always make the crease more subtle later if we think it's too much. But for right now, I think I'm going to pull that out. Yeah, I think that looks better. And don't forget to go back and smooth things out a little bit. Just make sure that your strength is down low enough that you don't wipe out everything that you just did. Also, up here on the eye, it looks a little flat. Makes him look a little bit meaner when it's puffed up. So I noticed that right here before his eyes, it has more volume. So let's go ahead and add some there. Just keep in mind that we're not trying to add details right now. That looks better. And this right here is raised too, kind of like it's flared. And this ridge kind of goes up and it feeds into the top of the brow. So we're going to add that in a little bit. That looks pretty good. We're not going to mess with these because I know that later on we're going to create some VDM brushes for some of the spikes that are going to be sticking up right there. So I don't want to do a whole lot right there right now. I'm really just trying to get some of these forms in there. Add a little bit more volume back here on the upper jaw. You can see how like that's spiked out right there. That's where you want to use the smooth brush to just kind of even all that out. So that's kind of the concept, is that you build the forms up, you smooth them back out, you build them up, you smooth them back out. Just don't wipe out everything that you're doing each time. And if you need to tweak some areas, that's where the grab brush comes in handy. Just to keep your flow going nice. You see a polygon or a vertex that's out of place, just use the grab brush, grab it, tweak it a little bit here and there. Look at it from a bunch of different angles. Add a little bit more volume down here to the jaw. Especially in the areas where some of the large teeth are going to be, you definitely want to have more volume there. We don't have enough geometry here to really add any more to this. Just going to puff that up just a little bit. He does have a separation here, so I'm going to try to add a little bit of that right now. But again, we're not working on details just yet, so let's go. We'll add a little bit more right in here. And a lot of this really just comes down to what you want for your model. I'm not trying to make mine exactly like any of these images, just using them as a reference. Really just trying to make this model my own. Yeah, I think that's starting to look a lot better. All right, I'm going to call it for this video, and if you like this stuff, then subscribe and like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.